And yesterday also the election of the President of the General Assembly, my colleague, the permanent representative of Qatar. Not every day, also for veterans like you have a situation where the Israeli permanent representative is congratulating his Qatari colleague. So things might go in the right direction in the Middle East. We have many things on the agenda, as you know. I think in the Middle East there's never a dull moment. First and foremost, I would say Iran and its quest for nuclear weapons and its sponsorship of terrorism in the region. I think the international community should be more robust and work together on what is happening in the Iranian influence in the region, which has direct implications on all of us. Of course, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which we should be working together to move as fast as possible into direct negotiations. But I think the reason that we're here today is that I would like to talk about the upcoming flotilla that is organized by different extreme organizations trying to provoke. Now, this is important because this is going to happen in the next days. It's important to state that there's nothing humanitarian or anything that has to do with Palestinian welfare that the organizing of this flotilla want to do. This is clearly determined to move a certain political agenda and to provoke. And as we heard now, there's a lot through institutions, through the UN, through direct and formalized channels, food, humanitarian aid, housing, and other projects are being done in Gaza. And I'm happy to say that the international community, headed by the Secretary General, has come out with statements trying to address the world and different countries to tell their citizens that this is not a good idea to mount this flotilla. It's also important for me to state that Israel is determined to stop this flotilla. We have the right to exert in self-defense a naval blockade. Why do we have this right? Because we have seen in the past with the last ship, Victoria, which was full of ammunition, shore to sea missiles and other stuff, what those weapons can do. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that those rockets at the end of the day fall on our head, and we have the right to defend ourselves. So let me be completely clear on this, that this flotilla, and we're saying it ahead of time, can bring just trouble and has nothing constructive. And I'm happy to say that we hope that with the support of the international community, we'll be able to really stop this flotilla in reaching its goal. And it's important for you to know that we're really determined that this would not happen. I think there are many constructive things to do, and this is exactly the wrong time to add additional tensions to a region which is tense anyhow. Thank you very, very much. I'd like to open this to your questions, and I want to say again thank you for your attention.
Just a moment. Let's have it like one after the other.
You consider the flotilla as provocation. Also, you consider that the Nakba Day, when the peaceful protesters from Lebanon and Syria marched into to claim their piece of land which you have stolen, and then you consider that provocation, and the only means you had is to fire at them with live ammunition. Why is your state easily provoked? Why is it a state? Why don't you apply the resolutions? Why don't you apply the resolutions of the United Nations if you show respect to the international community?
Why should I say that? Always Nakba, Nahsa is something positive that we can see. We see basically, as you know, after the breach of the border with Israel, we saw what the Palestinians themselves felt about being sent over the border by other people. So they spoke for themselves on the provocation that they felt that someone pushed them to do. So let's be fair, at least in the way, and not try and spin it in a different manner. It's obvious that Israel will maintain its borders, and I just hope that our neighbors around us will keep that in the same spirit. Yes.
I'm sorry, that's...
pushed as well by Syria and Lebanon?
I would say the following. I'm probably going to surprise you by saying that not all the problems in the Middle East, I think even you would acknowledge, are due to Israel. What is happening in Tunisia, in Syria, in Egypt, in Bahrain, you can't, even you cannot put that on our shoulders. So let's look at things in a more rational manner, and if we do that, I think we'll be nearer to finding a...
But you did not answer my question. Why do you fire on peaceful demonstrators? Why do you fire? Why not use water? Why don't you use other rubber bullets, for example?
I'm sorry, Mr. Moran. Why do you...